Hey, David Ken here. I've got something for you science teachers out there. For me, I need to make requests to the technical assistants for the equipment that I want in my lab for every day, for every lesson. And that's hugely helpful, and I love that that's something that I can do at my school. But the problem that I have is that I don't understand how calendars work. I just can't work my head around the way that every day different lessons are happening at different times. It's really hard for me to bounce my mind around in that way. So I've written a Google Sheet here which allows me to plan my lessons for each class linearly straight through and then have that fill into a calendar for me. Here's the main planning sheet, and I'll walk you through what's here. At the top, we have the different classes that I teach. So here's my 12 higher level physics. That's everything in these three columns. Then my 11 higher level physics is everything in these three columns. 12 SL physics, and so on, going over to the side, more classes. At the top, we have some more information about those classes. How many lessons each week the class meets. That's important for the sheet to understand how to fill it into the calendar. And the number of students in the class. That's just helpful for me to have on the sheet for reference when I do my planning for how much equipment I'm going to need. And then for each class, there are 3 columns of information that I can fill in, 1 row per lesson. There's the topic that we're going to cover, and the requests that I'm going to need from the technical assistants to bring what equipment we're going to need for the lesson. The notes column doesn't really do anything. It's just a space for me to write any extra notes that I want for myself. Like, for example, with this class, I've been writing in what pages in the workbook we're working from in that lesson. But in other classes, I haven't been using it at all. But what we have is 1 row for each lesson, and we can go through the whole course this way, straight down a line. Now, the reason that I find this handy is because it's easier for me to plan the order of events, and it's much, much easier for me to adjust to changing needs. So when something unexpected pops up, a lesson takes longer than I thought it would, or I lose a lesson for some unexpected event, or some reason I need to make my plans different, all I need to do is cut and paste the lessons down, and then I can do whatever I need in that space, and that will fill into the calendar at that point through the progress of the course. So this is really the only place where I need to make adjustments to what's happening in my class and what I need for my class. Each class is independent in that way, so I don't need to keep shifting things around on my calendar, scratching things out and putting things in new places. What does it look like when it all comes together in a calendar? That's what's on these 2 tabs. These 2 tabs are actually the same. It's just it allows me to look at 2 weeks at once. Let's look at this week. This week is the 6th week for the term, and what I get is a week view of what's happening. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, lessons 1, 2, 3, 4. Each block contains 2 pieces of information that are automatically filled in from the lesson planner. There's the content for the day, what are we doing, and there's the tech request, what do I need for that lesson. So here's the content, we're doing the second half of our waves study, and here's what I'm going to need for that, a microwave and some slices of cheese and things like that to find the speed of light. This is all filled in automatically based on the calendar and based on when I have my lessons and based on which lessons have already occurred. So if I want to look into the next week, I just need to select the next week, and it all fills in and changes. I can go back in time and look at what happened in the past. So I can move through my calendar in this way, and it's all filled in for me. Identically, there's another tab here next week That's just to look ahead a week, and also so that I can send this tab away to the laboratory assistants so they can start preparing the equipment that the class is going to need. Some other tabs you see down here, one is for disruptions. So this is for things that happen at specific times that I want to work my lessons around. So here I can specify a date and what's going to happen on that date. And it might be a holiday. It might be that the grade 10s are going away on a study break. It might be that we're away on vacation. It might be that I was sick that day, and I can just insert a row and say I was sick. And what's going to happen then is that the week template is going to pick up on all of these disruptions and skip a lesson for me. So you'll notice in this week, we have grade 10 study vacation. So it's paused my lesson schedule and inserted this disruption. And in the future, next week, we have more disruption because they're away for a week and a half. But then once they come back, I've resumed, it's automatically resumed my lesson plan. It's picked up where we left off. In the disruptions list, it doesn't have to be chronological, although it's going to get awfully unorganized if you don't keep it chronological. So if something unexpected comes up, like you get sick, you can just insert a cell in here and fill in the date. And just say you were, oops. Oh yeah, sorry. You're not allowed to do duplicates of dates that already exist. So that was a bad row to choose because we already have a date there. So let's delete that. Try again. So we'll insert a cell, and we'll say that on the 9th of December, I was sick. I was sick for all 4 lessons. So block 1, block 2, block 3, block 4, on to December 9th, I was sick. Now these cells should fill in automatically. Some quirk of Google Sheets that I'm not familiar with how to fix is that it doesn't automatically fill in formulas of its neighboring cells. So we just want to steal the formula from the neighboring cells and fill it in here. And now the sheet tells me which lessons I miss. So now when I go to the week containing Wednesday, December 9th, I'm sick all week. And all of those lessons that would have occurred on that day are now pushed into the next lesson for that class. The final tab that you need to know about is the week template. In the week template, you need to tell the spreadsheet which classes you have when so that it can fill in the week correctly. So this is something that you should really only have to do once when you're starting up the spreadsheet. You need to say which Monday is the first Monday of your term or which Monday is the first Monday of your year. And then you just select which classes you have in that block or none at all. These two will automatically fill in. That's which lesson, is it the first lesson, the second lesson, the third lesson of the week, and how many lessons per week. That's just information that the spreadsheet needs to be able to sort your week. And those two should fill in automatically, so you shouldn't have to mess around with that. That's the whole template. What can you do with this besides just stay organized? Well, you can also share this page with anyone as a read-only document. You can send it to your students, you can send it to their parents, you can send it to your colleagues, and that way everyone can keep up with what's happening next and what's happening today. So parents can talk to their kids about the interesting things that they saw in science class that week. Kids can look ahead and get prepared. Kids who are absent can look and see what they missed, and they can also see which days these events will be happening on. So if they need to get prepared for a test, say, they can look ahead and see what day that test will be on. If you want to set up your own version of this planner, you can steal this blank template and just fill in a couple of things for yourself. You'll need to fill in your own classes, so you probably aren't a gerbil husbandry teacher. You'll probably need to fill in your own science-y type classes with your own number of lessons per week and your own number of students. You also need to fill in the week template. So you need to pick the first Monday that you're going to start teaching and fill in when your classes are occurring. So I filled in basket weaving for you, but you'll have to adjust that. And you may want to start filling in some disruptions. So I'll take these out and you can fill in your own. And from there, you should be good to go to simply, to simply add your lessons in chronologically. And once you've done that for, say, a whole year, then you have a plan that you can copy and paste into a fresh document for the next year as a template, as a starting point. And then the bulk of your planning for the whole next year is also already done. And the template will fill in the lesson structure of the weeks for that new year. I hope you find this useful. If you do teach more than 4 blocks a day, or if you teach more than 6 lessons in total, this template doesn't have the capability to do that for you. You would have to adjust the template. That's something that you would have to mess around with the formulas a little bit to make work. If you're up for the challenge, go for it. If not, post a message in the comments saying, you need these features X, Y, Z, and I'll have to think about seeing if I can manage that if there's interest for it. I hope you find it useful. Cheers.